The market is volatile, the stocks keep going down. Then boom, we hit new highs. Everything is different now, but you don't gotta chase. Don't panic, don't stress. Time to realign, plan it out, invest. It's the First Fruits Podcast. We elevating with the First Fruits Podcast. No time for waiting, time to grow, give back, reinvest like that. Everything you need to know, the First Fruits Podcast. Let's go.
Welcome to another episode of the First Fruit Stock Club. Check 1 2 1 2. Man, how's everybody doing out there? Man, thankful for another week to come to you with some information. And today I have a presentation for you, man. It's a secret market indicator, right? Secret market indicator. The issue is that people think the market is about charts. It's about formulas. It's about accumulation and all different statistics and indicators you can use. But if you don't understand this, none of them matter. None of those things will ever matter. If you don't understand what I'm going to show you today, it is like the wizard behind the curtain. Something that nobody ever talks about, that no one ever show you. But of course, I'm here to help you and show you what's behind the curtain. Why do stocks do what they do? I mean, you think about it. You have the perfect stock. You have your Greeks all lined up. You got your deltas and your gammas and the implied volatility. You got all those things working for you, right? You got the perfect stock, right? The chart, you got a double bottom. You got a cup with handle. You have everything there. You waited for it, right? You were patient. You did all the things that the professionals tell you to do. And yet, the stock was still a bust, right? The trade went bad for you, was still a bust. It didn't work out for you. You did everything you tried. You tried everything. You tried this signal, that signal. You tried all these different things. Well, today I'm going to tell you what happens and why. Why does that happen? Why do you study, you read charts, you pick the right stock, the fundamentals of the stock, and yet your trade goes bad. Your trade goes bad, right? So the idea today is I'm going to give you an outline, and I'm going to show you an indicator that no one has talked to you about. All right? So let's get into it. All right. So before I get into what I'm going to discuss today, to give you an indicator that no one has shown you before, I'm going to ask you to please like, subscribe, and share the show. Please like, subscribe, and share the show. I want to get this information out. Man, my goal is to help investors, right? Help you if you want to trade, if you want to long-term invest. And I focus really on helping investors do all three: long-term trade, as well as creating a dividend portfolio, right? You need all three working together. But before I get deeply into that, let me get my disclaimer. The information provided in the First Fruit Stock Club podcast is for educational, informational purpose only and should not be considered financial, investment, tax, or legal advice. The views expressed by the host and the guests are their own and do not reflect the opinions of any financial institution, excuse me, or regulatory authority. Investing in stocks and others carries risk, including um, including the risk of loss of principal. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Always conduct your own research. Always conduct your own research. And performance is not indicative of future results. Professional, um, be, con, I can't talk today. Always conduct your own research and consult with a licensed financial professional before making any investment decisions. The First Fruit Stock Club and its affiliates do not guarantee any specific outcomes, right? Um, and by listening to this podcast, you acknowledge that you are responsible for your own investment decisions. All right. So, man, let's get into it. We are in one of those markets that can really change your financial trajectory. Right? We're in one of those markets that you will wish, if you don't participate, you'll wish you did. And it's funny how life works. Things aren't ever convenient, right? The time for you um, to take your household and your finance to the next level, right? It's never convenient. That's where we are, right? So as traders, right, we get an opportunity, right, to invest and change our financial lives. Right? We put ourselves in a position, right? We've opened up the accounts, we funded the accounts, we've done the things we're supposed to do. So therefore, right, we can reap the rewards. So today, my goal is to help you become a better trader, right? And we're going to discuss an indicator. Okay, so let me get into it, man. So the secret indicator that no one is showing you, how to use the flight assessment to read market behavior, and it's called by the First Fruit Stock Club and Donald. My name is Donald Green. If you don't know who I am, all right. So look, why most indicators fail beginners? Too technical, not actionable. They ignore the why behind the moves. They create false confidence, missing layer, and market participant behavior. That is what is behind the behavior. Is what's behind everything. Is the indicator that you're missing. You're missing the moves are because of the behavior, right? So, so when we get into this, right, and we can understand, and we can use behavior as our secret weapon, right? We can use behavior as secret weapon once we understand what's the basis of it. So it's not a magic line on a chart. Um, it's a decision tool, right? We had to use decision tools to answer the question: is money running towards risk or away from it? Is it moving? Is the move real or is it just noise? Or should I press pause or protect my money? It's simple as that, right? So you can have all those indicators. The chart can be where it needs to be. Your greets can be where they need to be, and yet you probably shouldn't invest right now. It's not the right time. And behavior tells us that. Behavior gives us entries, great entries, and great exits, right? That's the goal. All right. So the flight assessment in plain English, it says where money is moving, you're assessing risk off or risk on, urgency or hesitation, strength or exhaustion, right? And it is the output is clear, right? Trading posture, either go slow or no fly. Look, I don't know if you guys remember. Look, I played football in college, right? And in NFL, there was this thing, where I played tight end. So basically, what I did is, if you don't know what tight end is I catch passes and I also block, right? But when you catch passes, and I mostly kind of short passes, so I had the lineman chasing behind me, as well as the big linebackers, who love to hit, and then you had the little defensive backs who always wanted to hit you, um, you know, especially if they can get a good lick on you. You had the crowd go, ah. I can remember, and my shoulder still hurts to this day. I can remember, and I'm gonna get to my point. I can remember being we were playing at home. I went to Cheney University, right? We were playing at home. I think we were playing against East Stroudsburg. Can't remember, one of the schools. Man, I caught a curl pattern. A curl pattern is where you go up and you curl. Caught the pattern. I turned around. As soon as I turned around, the guy, boom, knocked me back. I mean, I was down. I was dazed for a second. I can remember the coach. He saw me get up kind of wobbly. This is, I played a little while ago. I played like in the '90s. So, concussions really weren't a big thing. I know I probably had a few. My wife could tell you, she thinks I had a few concussions. But, the guy gets up and says, "Yeah, yeah, no fly zone, no fly zone." So the whole thing is that, you're catching the ball. He's like, "You can't fly in this area," meaning you can't catch the ball in this area because I'm gonna hit you hard. I still remember no fly zone. I'm like, man, there was also an NFL group of defensive backs. They called it no fly zone, meaning area you couldn't catch. Well, in the stock market and securities, there's a no fly zone. There's a time where you need to sit back and let the market make its own decision of what direction it wants to go. And a lot of times when we overtrade, right, and we continuously buy and we do things that um are aren't that would give us low probability for success, therefore then we end up blowing up our trades and blowing up our accounts. All right. So no fly zone, right? So where were we? That's what happens. So three outcomes of your trading posture, right? You got to go, behavior confirms the move, normal sizing or slightly increase, slow mixed signals, or smaller size, waiting for confirmation, no fly, right? So no fly, remember, no fly zone is behavior warns you to protect your capital and don't force trades. And a lot of times when we overtrade, we force trades, right? An objective is not to force trades. The objective is to understand the behavior in the market and know, hey, this is time we need to conserve capital right now. Time we're gonna step back and see what happens, right? And you need to have a system for that. All right, you need to have a system for that. So the behavior scoreboard, he tracked 5 behavioral signals: pace, participation, reaction, follow through, and risk appetite, right? Pace. What is the pace of the market, right? And who is the pace buyers and where are they, right? Are they setting, is it a consistent pace that they're setting? The markets move up on a consistent basis, right? Is it a volatile base pace? Up, down, up, down, up, down. Is it fast pace? When it can have both of those, but on the upside, the market is trending up. Some stocks, and we see that on some stocks right now, the pace and participation is moving crazy, right? Is it participation? Is it entire market participating, right? Some people won't buy, and understand, when we look at these behaviors, we're trying to find we're really trying to find out who's in the market right now, right? And what is the major or the dominant behavior in the market, right? What is the dominant behavior in the market? So we have participation, right? Some people won't get involved in a market unless everybody says it's good, right? Everybody says it's good. And what happens is it's like participation can also include um are all stocks participating? Is it just a few stocks in the market that's participating in the rally, right? Reaction, right? Reaction. How's the market reacting to news and information, right? Some people only react to market communication. So as the market is communicating, as the news is coming out, if the news is negative, then they're selling. If it's positive, they're buying, right? And then are people buying into the market? Are people buying in? Or do people feel like, well, man, I missed out. I'm not going to invest. I missed out on this rally, right? This rally I missed out on, so I'm not going to participate, right? And then are the big dogs in it? The big dogs that's willing to take the risk. Are they in the market, right? Right? And in the risk takers help us with follow through, right? People who set floors in the market when the market's down. And one behavior that I did not put in here is procedures, right? Or people who buy off a system or procedures or valuation. And I call that the Grim Reaper, right? Because you can have your trade all set up. You can have everything all set up. You can have your charts, right? Like I said, you can have your Greeks. You can have the stock. You've researched the stock. You've done everything you're supposed to do, and the valuation reaper comes, says everything's too high, and starts cutting everything. And no matter what you do, it's not going to work. The market's going down. That's where it's going, right? And that's what happens, right? And those are the personalities that we have to use, right? We have to understand these are the things that's behind the chart, right? These are the things that's behind the moves. These are the things that are behind the higher highs and the higher lows, or the lower lows and the lower highs. These are the behaviors that will support us, right, as traders. So we have to be able to identify these and have them in our back pocket and know how to use. And what happens is it's not just one behavior that's going on. There's usually numerous behaviors that's going on at the same time, right? So you don't have one, well, the market's about pace right now. No, it's going to be about pace and follow through and risk appetite, or risk appetite and follow through, or reaction and follow through. You have to be able to determine where is the dominant behavior in the market. You have to determine the dominant behavior and the dominant buyer, right? Or the dominant seller, right? They're going to sell and they're going to control the market. The market's going to follow with them. What they're going to buy, and they're going to control the market, and the market's going to follow with them. You, as an investor, right, as a trader, have to be able to identify these things and follow these things. And these things will determine the outcomes of your trades. All right. So I just really wanted to get in and give you guys some secret indicators that no one ever talks about. No one ever tells you. And, it kind of leave you in the dust. But this is why I created the first fruits formula, right? It allows us to take advantage of market behaviors, right? When the risk is high and the risk appetite is high, guess what? We're running options. When the risk appetite is low, guess what? We're going to sit back and collect dividends, right? When it's undecided, we're going to go in the long. We're going to invest in long term. We're going to take our dividends, invest in long term, right? And we continue to do this. We move our money around according to how the market is moving, according to the behavior of the market. We have to be able to use behavior. It is a must for us to be able to determine it and figure out where's the next move of the market. Where should my entry be? Where should my exit be? All right. Should I be sitting on the sideline? Is this a no-fly zone? Okay. Remember, I told you I got hit and the wind knocked in when I was playing in college. Got no fly zone. Don't catch balls over here. Right? No fly zone, no trades right now. We're just gonna sit on the sideline and collect dividends. And that's hard to do. That's hard to do. And what happens is when we make bad decisions, we don't have a system in place, right? Then the probability of us becoming a successful trader dramatically decreases. So I just tell you, if you totally free, if you have an interest in understanding and getting your own flight assessment, right? Right underneath the show, just say I want it. Say flight assessment, and the follow through. And when you say flight assessment, I'll send you your own flight assessment for free. Right? You can check it out, and you can determine if you can use it in your trading. If you're having trouble trading right now, if your gains aren't where it need to be, if you're losing, it has a lot to do with you're not seeing the behavior of the market. All right, you're not seeing the behavior correctly, and it's the basis of your trading. And always, man, I always give a call to action. Look, if you guys have interest and you want to get into a community, right, where the flight assessment, we can also use a bunch of other tools that we have in the club, as well as speaking to me one-on-one and creating a portfolio, understanding how to use options. If you want to do that, man, you can join the First Fruit Stock Club. All right. Go to firstfruitstockclub.com. All right. And man, so that is it for today. And if you don't, it's okay. Just now you have an extra tool in your toolbox to use, right? To understand how behavior controls the markets. And what happens is you do everything you supposed to do, and yet the trade still doesn't turn out. Probably behavior, and you didn't determine what's the dominant behavior in the market. I am Donald Green. I am the founder of the First Fruit Stock Club, and I thank you for giving me a few moments of your time. And like always, until next week, everybody be fruitful. Bye-bye.
The market is volatile, the stocks keep going down. Then boom, we hit new highs. Everything is different now, but you don't gotta chase. Don't panic, don't stress. Time to realign, plan it out, invest. It's the First Fruits Podcast. We elevating with the First Fruits Podcast. No time for waiting, time to grow, give back, reinvest like that. Everything you need to know, the First Fruits Podcast. Let's go.